Well, here we are at Gallows Reach on the Lichfield Canal, and over the last 2-3 days there's been a frantic amount of activity with Trust volunteers who have worked to try and expose the towpath wall here at Gallows Reach so we can start rebuilding early next year, which is tomorrow.
We've only got half the team here because all the youngsters are up at Falkland Road laying turf. That's mostly the Duke of Edinburgh youngsters. There'll be 10 or 12 of them up there. I mean, sadly we've had to cut trees down on here. We don't like to, but we have to when it's right in the line of the canal or when they're dangerous. And so we'll then end up with a load of wood. Now, in the past we would have perhaps carted it away and burnt it somewhere. But what we're now doing, because it's so much better environmentally, is cutting it up and making habitat piles which will get a bit of soil covering on them and are marvellous for attracting all the invertebrates, the bugs, the small mammals, and that anyway will help with increasing the bird life because they've got something to eat.
Hello and welcome to the Lichfield Canal, and here at Gallows Reach we have today, this weekend, we have the Work Recovery Group have sent a camp. 22 volunteers are here today. Their target is about 75 metres if they can do it in the day, but I think the weather that is forecast for tomorrow might just scupper them, but they're doing a fabulous job today. They've got a team here putting down the towpath, and there's another team laying bricks on the towpath wall. It's a fabulous opportunity to move the canal forwards and get the heritage towpath trail along this area completed. Thank you.
Is that the dreaded big pipe?
That's the dreaded big pipe. And here we have on Gallows Reach a section of the original heritage towpath wall which we've exposed. We've taken this morning with the help of the Work Recovery Group volunteers. They've exposed and taken off all the loose bricks that are on the top. They've cleaned those bricks up, and the intention is to rebuild this section of the towpath wall right back up to coping level so we can then finish the towpath behind it. David has been working on the towpath wall here and rebuilding the top of the heritage towpath wall so we can then complete the edge and get the path in so people can walk. And Paul has done a fabulous job also in terms of regrading the batters, the back slopes, where we can put seeds, plants, bulbs, and reinstate the planting. The other side will be a gentle battered slope, a soft slope. That feeds into the environmental mound that we've put along that side, which you'll notice we've planted with daffodils. The daffodils are absolutely bursting to get out, but we put thousands of daffodils down that section of the nature trail, and the snowdrops are an absolute joy at the moment, and those are all snowdrops that we planted or replanted from other areas of the canal to make that the nature trail that it is. All this surplus soil that we've we've uncovered from exposing the wall will be taken to the far end, will either be back down to the original water level which we've created here, or we will in fact probably take it a bit deeper than that so that we actually take more of the material. We obviously have the big pipe running through here and we can't dig below the big pipe, but basically all of this soil will be gone. But we've had to take this material to sidecast it because the conditions were too wet over winter to in fact take it straight into dumpers and take it down to the far end where we can lose it onto other sections of the canal. But it has exposed the towpath wall, and the first section of rebuilt towpath wall is now visible. It's been put together by the volunteers. Lovely stretch being put in here by Dave Price and his team, and that's the first section. We've got some coping to put on the top of that to finish that off.
We're here on a really fortunately pleasant day. Plenty of rain in the soil because we're planting 420 saplings donated by the Woodland Trust. And we've just done a count, and we had the first batch from Woodland Trust in 2015. And so we're pretty certain we've had them every year since. So this will make over 2,000 various species of mostly hedging, but some oaks and rowans and silver birch as well. Over 2,000 of them in the 5 years that we've had this association with the Woodland Trust. We as a charity have to apply for them. There's no guarantee you get them, and you obviously have to fill the criteria that they require. And so we are indebted to the Woodland Trust for enabling us to do what we love doing as the Restoration Trust, which is to make the environment much better for wildlife, for community, and improving biodiversity. Today we have a mixture of hawthorn, blackthorn, hazel, which of course make wonderful hedging, and we've also got rowan, silver birch and a few oak trees. So a good mixture, all of which can go into hedging, though we'll keep some of the silver birch and the rowan, which are pretty, and put them in as accent trees on different parts of, not just this site. We may put some in near Fossway Lane. So a good mix. Try not to have them compete too much with weeds and grass and ants. Then the survival rate is amazingly good.
You're putting in hazel.
Chosen the most difficult one.
We've had to cut some trees down because those are obviously a lot more substantial than the saplings that are about so big from the Woodland Trust.
They're looking okay actually. This one's doing really well, but they've all got some kind of buds coming on them, which is good news.
And we'll also be putting a plaque up later on. In fact, Michael Fabricant, the MP, will put a plaque up on this site at a very visible spot, which is acknowledging all these saplings that we've had from the Woodland Trust over the years. And another association that the Canal Trust has is with a couple of scouting groups. And the 7th Litchfield Scout Group made 6 of these little wooden plaques because, strangely, the Woodland Trust doesn't seem to have any. So I'm keeping the Woodland Trust informed, and they'll also get some pictures of what we've done to acknowledge the tremendous support they've given us, and we therefore have been able to do such improvements to the environment.
Okay.
I live in Ely, in the Fenland, and I'm a bit of a country girl, and I had to find myself in Lichfield in lockdown with a rather lot of time on my hands. I always try and look for countryside and nature, and I found myself up on the canal one day, which is so near the city centre. It's unbelievable. I find myself up here and walking along this beautiful, beautiful pathway, and this really interesting engineering feat that's happening. And I had a friend at home who had started to try and teach me a bit of bird song, and I thought, oh, I don't normally have time to stop and listen to birds, but now I had all the time in the world, so I just found this the most perfect place. as I've walked or run, sometimes I run up here, I've discovered that the hedgerows are changing all the time with all the different wildflowers. They're just absolutely beautiful. It's just magnificent, and each time I come up, there's something new. Such a haven for nature, people exercising. I just love it, and it was a great discovery.
Today's exercise is to remove some of the surplus spoil we've got here and take it to a site in Netherstowe, which just happens to be on the line of the original James Brindley canal that he proposed back in 1759. Sadly, that canal wasn't actually built. But what we have is we have a surplus of soil here, and this soil is being loaded onto tipper trucks today and will be taken away where it will be used in landscaping at Netherstowe, and we're working in conjunction, in partnership with Lichfield City Council to make this happen. One metre high bund basically to basically cap this off.
And
Went
actually gave. That's a really good idea.
With a nice earth mound here.
Yes, lovely.
So this is a very historic spot because this particular spot is on the line of the original James Brindley proposed canal from Lichfield, from Minsterpool, Stowpool. You can see behind us, came all the way down this gully here. 30 miles of canal he proposed in 1758. Brindley's original canal into Lichfield didn't happen, but here we are on the site, and here we are actually rather interestingly using soil to basically help this particular area.
Yes! Smile! We're in the paper!
Here we are at Gallows Reach again, and we've got a fabulous turnout this morning. We've got the main crew. We're excavating another section of the channel here at Gallows Reach and taking the soil from here further along onto the Tamworth Road section, where we can actually deposit it, where it can be then lifted and moved by transport to other places. But today we've also got the Green and Grounds team today, and they're cutting this hedge back, ready to extend the towpath wall along here. We'll be using steel sheet piles on this particular section because we need a slightly deeper channel here than we can get with the original walls. Today we've also got the Duke of Edinburgh students who are working on putting a fence up there and tidying up some bricks and getting bricks ready for the bricklayers to put more into the walls.
Today we're extending that fence over there, the wooden fence, and Phoebe and I are digging the holes for the posts. And now at this moment in time we're collecting some stones so we can use for packing these posts in.
Yeah.
Is that right, Phoebe?
Yes.
There you go. Ready?
Pretty good.
Oh, you measured it! Oh my god. This is far too good. Yeah, could you lift that?
What we did was we dug a trench through, a cut-off trench. See here where he's interlocking just below his hand there. That's the clutch.
Yeah.
One pile clutches into the other one and goes down, just slides right the way down.
Yeah.
Now, rather than drive them in the ground, what we have done is we've dug a trench along the bottom. To below the bottom of the piles.
Right.
We've filled that with clay. And then we're driving into that clay, which means the piles are sealed into the bottom of that trench. You can see where he's just dug behind. This is our little fly jib that we constructed onto the end of the jib. We took a bucket attachment and made a little tiny fly jib for the excavator, so he can pick the pile and pitch it from high up. Now if you look at the geometry of that machine, him to try and lift his bucket up to that level with the pile is just too much. So we made, I call it a fly jib, because you put fly jibs on the end of cranes and do the same thing. So it's like a little fly jib. And you can see, puts a pile in, drives the pile in very, very quickly. And they drove that whole row of piles from here right to the end in the day. And make sure that the line of the piles is absolutely right. So that's the quick release mechanism. And you can see as soon as he's happy, he will lower that lever, which releases a pin down here. And the pin comes out and it's ready to go and click the next one on. You can see the whaling beam goes in there and the nuts go on the outside and a big washer holds it on, and then the boats basically rub along here, so rather than rubbing on the pile. A little bit of up and down. One of the problems is you drive a sheet pile in the ground and you pitch the next one to it. Now if the clutch is a bit tight, it will drag the next one down with it. What we'll do is we'll put a bit of hedge through here so that stop people actually walking straight off the edge. And I'm going to put the other bollard on this side as well. So that's the next one of the next jobs I need to do.
That's great.
It looks a little bit grim, but we are expecting a load of concrete to come. There's lots of work to be done, soil moving and clay work to do behind the wall. Moving clay from one part of the site up to this wall. It's giving you a good workout at the same time.
That's going to be too soft to go anywhere near today.
Hi, morning Paul. This is a double wall, double skinned wall, filled in with concrete, which in itself should not leak, but just as a belt and braces episode, we're putting clay behind it on the roadside to plug any leaks that might be there. There shouldn't be any leaks. It's one of those jobs that it continues. We do a little bit and move on. We do a little bit and move on, and through that we've created quite a long section of canal, shuttering on one side, brickwork on the other side, and concrete bed as well. So it should be a pretty good canal when we've got water in it.
That will go back another couple of hundred mil if you
Yeah, we're cutting the turf to put down by Tony G's memorial bench.
Can you get my right side, please?
Which side is that?
I don't think there is one.
I've heard the comment many times that, oh, it will never happen, it's being built by volunteers, you know, they're chasing a dream, it will never come to fruition. But I just want to tell those people that the enthusiasm that all of our volunteers have and the energy that they put into it, this will happen. It may not be in my lifetime, but it will happen, and I'm convinced of that.
Morning, Hugh.
It's going to be too soft to go anywhere near today. Tomorrow you can just about walk on it, but you shouldn't put any heavy equipment on it. You shouldn't take the digger over it or the dumper truck because it'll still be soft. So that's 2 days, and then on Thursday they can start preparing the next pad. How many cubic metres this time?
8.76.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah. Been out to pull it more easily. Well, we're gathered here this morning, a very wet morning, on the 31st of October 2020, supported by well-wishers, to draw the winning tickets in the 2020 Grand Prize draw.
Well done, well done.
Luck of the draw, it's called.
Obviously letting you guys get out of the way.
Correct.
So there's
Here we are standing on the site of the retaining wall between the highway through the pinch point and the heritage Lock 23, and they've now completed nearly all of the base pour, and the next stage is to go and put the wall pour on, and then they will backfill and then make the road over the top to go through this. That basically protects the heritage lock, which we've managed to retain, and with us modifying the south wall of the lock, it allows us to get boats through here and come out of the lock into the curved channel that takes it on up to the far end of the site. But this is a fairly historic moment. The base is in today, and a little further up I think we've actually just seen some culvert sections going in on the first of the two bridges that links from the highway across to the new housing development.
Yeah, I think seeing it on the ground, you can really see why we called it the pinch point all the way through the last 10 years of planning it out, can't you?
It's extremely tight.
Yeah.
It is extremely tight. So here we are at the first bridge, which is the link bridge, which links from the bypass across the canal to the housing development, the Persimmon housing development on this side. And today we've got a momentous operation of the actual culvert sections going in. The base culvert sections are going in today. They've got all of the base sections now. The last of those is just about to go in. And tomorrow they'll be putting the inverted U shape to go over the top. And that will be the culvert. They will backfill round it. There'll be wing walls off the two sides, the four corners, and that will have boats running through in due course. We're talking with the developers and Persimmon now about moving to the point where we, in fact, as soon as these guys have built the bridge, they get it to a stage where we in fact can carry on straight in there and carry on with building the towpath walls that we need to connect up to it, and build the road over the top and everything we need to put in to put the canal infrastructure as well. So we've achieved yet another milestone. We've opened Gallows Reach from London Road Bridge right the way through for about 160 odd metres of towpath. Has been completely restored and exposed over the last year and a bit with a fabulous team of volunteers who've put an enormous amount of pressure right through the COVID problems and issues. We've been working on this, and what we've now got is a wonderful bit of towpath which the community are already using. The canal channel here is not quite to full depth. We've left it a little bit high, so we in fact can actually get through along the base with vehicles. Uses half bricks actually we've put in the back, so all the half bricks that would have been normally thrown away or crushed, we've actually incorporated all those half bricks into the retaining wall to hold the bank up on the back of the towpath.
Yes, I've seen the Duke of Edinburgh Award students cleaning those bricks up.
Absolutely, it's all the bricks that have been saved. Those are heritage bricks, and for every heritage brick we can save and incorporate into the construction. The full bricks have gone into the wall behind us we're standing on now, but the half bricks were all used basically in this piece of section of retaining wall. And here are two of the individuals who in fact are basically to blame for all of this brickwork.
Right, yeah.
It's our fault again.
Dave Price down the bottom there, Bill Beresford and Paul Jewett, who basically have laboured away at this day in, day out, night in, night out.
Yeah. Just a matter of cleaning all these bricks off now, trying to get to use them. Not easy. Where this?
Oh, that's looking much better.
This is the brick cleaning station. We're going to rip it out from here.
The high one will be. And we may discut anything that's not quite right, but that's basically it. That needs to go all the way up to the top now.
Yeah.
So I was just saying.